I thought I would record my off-the-cuff thoughts about the movie Joker, which I just saw. Didn't think it was, there was any point of writing a big script for this video, because I figured everyone's already seen it. They got their own opinions on it. Not a whole lot of people are going to watch this video. So I'm just reading off notes that I wrote to myself on my phone while I was in the shower. Anyway. So we got this tiny little movie, well, tiny by Hollywood standards. I think they spent like $60 million on it. This tiny little movie comes out, turns a huge profit. It's now the most profitable comic book movie ever made, because it made $1 billion at the box office, on a $60 million budget. So, per dollar spent, they made this huge profit on it, right? And it just goes to show you don't need to spend, $300 million to make this big, CGI festival theme park ride of a movie to get people to come see it and spend money. You just make this little movie and just market it really well, and people will come watch it, and you'll make a lot of money off it. I'm glad to see that could still happen in this day and age, where all the major studios are just chasing Marvel. Anyway, in the months leading up to this movie, we saw all these stupid alarmist articles from idiots who just can't help but see everything through a political lens. Just, completely missed the point. Saying the movie was going to be promoting incel culture or the alt-right or something. It was going to make people want to go out and commit violence. And the movie isn't like that at all. It's a movie about a guy, his name is Arthur Fleck. He has a mental illness. And the movie it's really about how he has this mental illness, but nobody is helping him. It's just society completely failing this guy. So he decides to just turn against it, right? But there's nothing political about it, at least not about him or his motivations. It's all personal for him. When he decides at some point, after he just snaps and decides to embrace his identity as the Joker, and he lashes out at the individuals who have wronged him. He doesn't go after demographic groups. He doesn't say, I'm going to go after these women, I'm going to go after these minority groups. No, he goes after specific individuals. And it's only people who have wronged him in some way. He even lets a guy go, right? There's a scene where two of his ex-co-workers show up at his apartment, and he stabs one of them to death because he was the guy who, lied about him to his boss and got him fired. And then he lets the other guy go because he was, in his own words, "You were the only one who was ever nice to me." That's what he says to the guy, right? I don't know how you can interpret that as, alt-right messaging. But anyway, but then the movie it ends after he's, fully embraced the Joker. He's starting to call himself that. He's got the costume on and everything. He kind of sort of inadvertently becomes an icon to people who wrongly believe that he's leading an uprising against the rich and powerful. The background of the movie, everyone is getting sick of all this corruption that's going on, and so there's constant protests and rioting and stuff, and so all these people are putting on clown masks because they see him as an icon of their movement, even though that's not at all what he intended. So it's ironic that we have all these idiots in real life who are claiming that it's alt-right, it's incels, and it's gonna start political violence. It's ironic because it's a movie about people misunderstanding him and using him for their own self-interested political agenda. The very last thing he says in the movie, he's talking. He's in the mental hospital or whatever, and this lady's talking to him. And he's starts laughing to himself, and she asks, "What's so funny?" He says, "I thought of a joke." And then she's like, "Oh, you want to tell it to me?" And he says, "You wouldn't get it." That summarizes the entire point of the movie. That's theming. You wouldn't get it because he's a misunderstood guy who people don't get it. So that's why it's so funny to me that there's all these people who don't get it. Anyway, I guess that's I guess later when the movie comes out on Blu-ray or DVD or something, I might do a more formally structured review that's like scripted and everything. I just wanted to get something out there. In the meantime, I'm working on another review at the moment, still writing it. I was having trouble writing because for the past few days I've been getting migraines for some reason. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, support me on Patreon, and follow me on Twitter. Right, all the links are in the description.